Now we're going to talk about blues music. Now when I looked around on the style and tried to find more information, you can't really find a lot on its origin. You know, it's just something that seems to have been there for a long time, and I think it probably originated before we even had instruments to accompany it. I think it was just vocals, people singing and stuff like that. And it's people using those blues tones and those blues scales to make up melodies in songs. And so what I've done is I've written out just 5 exercises in the style of blues. Now, blues is generally in a swung feel or triplet feel, but you can have straight blues, you can have 6/8 blues as well. We're not going to go into all those crazy different types. I just want to kind of teach you the basic shuffle and what you need to play a really, really solid blues. So I'm going to play through these exercises at 80 and then again at 150, just to kind of give you an example of what it's like to play them very slow and then also very fast. Now, a tempo of 80 played with 8th note triplets still feels quite slow, and you'll find when you go to play blues with a band and you try and play a slow blues, it's really hard to lock it in and not speed up at all. And I don't think blues is played very much with click and stuff like that, so if you play blues, you want to have really solid time, so you're not pushing and pulling the whole night. And another thing, even if you're a drummer who's playing in church or just a jam band or something like that, this is a style that you really want to kind of have under your belt. At least a basic shuffle and then a halftime shuffle. So a full time and a halftime shuffle. If you can do that, you can pull that off, then you can kind of fake your way through it. If you really want to get into it, and you really want to start playing with blues bands, then you're going to have to go further and learn the 6/8 blues and a bunch of straight blues and different shuffles and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to play these at 2 tempos, and then we'll talk again at the end of the lesson. Now that's a very fun style to play that just requires a different feel. You're not always bashing and hitting stuff like crazy, but you do have that type of dynamic range. You also have the very, very low dynamic range where you just play very, very softly. And it's a style that requires you to really interact with the other band members on stage and really, really use your ears. Almost, kind of like jazz. I guess they're very, very similar in that way. Rock is part-based, whereas blues is reaction-based. You change based on what other musicians are doing and what the crowd is doing and stuff like that. So it's a very, very fun style to play that I know you're going to love. So what I need you to do is play these at both tempos. Once you got them for 2 minutes perfectly, you can go ahead and move on to the next style.